What am I looking for? My water, which is here. If you are living in Britain at the moment, it is freezing. I don't know, I've had to chuck on like anything I could find in the clinic. I was not prepared for the -2, which I know is not cold compared to like other countries, but it is quite chilly when you are not used to it. But I thought I would do a little video. Basically, I've been really struggling to get the time, or let's say the motivation. I think imposter syndrome has hit me hard for some reason coming back to work, and has made me maybe like not doubt myself, but I think going back to work after such a short period of time after having a baby and trying to be able to juggle it all has been really difficult. Much harder than I thought. I mean, I literally turned up today crying my eyes out because trying to get out of the house with a 9-week-old, with traffic, getting into work, because I'm client-based, I have to be on time. There's not the kind of luxury opportunity to kind of be a little bit, or someone, oh, can you cover me? I'm late, 5 minutes late, logging on, whatever it is. Yeah, there's just been something the last 2 weeks where I don't know if it's time or if it's motivation, or like I said, if it is imposter syndrome, if it's feeling like I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. I don't know. It's just been a really funny adjustment period, just trying to fit everything in. Trying to figure it out, I guess, is definitely the way. But I thought, snap out of it. Let's try and sometimes the best thing to do when you're feeling a bit like that is just to throw yourself in. And I was like, right, I'm just gonna talk to the phone, because actually when I talk things out, it makes me feel a bit better. It makes me feel a bit more like I get on buses. I've got my phone leant up against the window so I get really good lighting, and buses keep blocking it. But yeah, saying today, right, when you've got a bit of time in between clients, then just film something, talk about something that you know you're passionate about. This page to be, or this channel to be, all about everything. And one of my passions is gut health, so if I actually just do a little bit about that. So, leaky gut. Leaky gut is when your gut lining becomes, or separates and becomes permeable. Food particles and toxins can get into the bloodstream through the gut, because the gut lining isn't as permeable as it should be. This here is the lining of your gut, and what it should be is super tight, all of those cells super tight together, and then it has got a kind of mucus membrane all around it, keeping it even more protected. Now what happens, because of the modern lifestyle, high alcohol, smoking, stress, lots of different junk food, your gut lining can become permeable, and basically the mucous membrane becomes really weak, meaning that the cells can separate. Now when those cells separate, food particles, mainly sort of proteins of those foods, get into the bloodstream and can cause lots of things like really bad bloating, skin conditions, brain fog. It can cause like a bit of anxiety, low moods. And what we want to basically try and do is get that gut from being leaky to really strong and resilient. And what the food sensitivity test does is really give us an indication if how leaky that gut is. If you've got loads of sensitivities coming up, that is a sign that actually, yes, there is a bit of work that we need to do with that gut lining. But for me, how I see it is that most people who have some form of gut symptoms, who are suffering with the gut lining always becomes slightly permeable. Everybody will suffer with a little bit of leaky gut. So a couple of things that you can do to get that gut lining really strong again. So one is removing any triggers, anything that you know is causing you to have a symptom. So let's say you are eating something and you react to it. diarrhea, constipation, bloating, that sort of thing, feel sick, it's quite a common one. Remove that. And whilst you remove the triggers and remove the things that you know are causing you pain or causing you a symptom, you also need to remove really high alcohol, because high alcohol metabolizes within the gut, and actually within the gut lining, more in your large intestines, and it will just basically change the environment, and we want to basically try and get that environment to become a good environment, and alcohol can keep knocking it back. So once you have removed the things that you know are causing you jip, we want to add things in that are going to really help to build back the strength of that gut lining. So you've got things like L-glutamine as a supplement. L-glutamine helps to repair the cell walls. Bone broth is very, very good. So people always say, oh, bone broth won't solve your gut problems. It absolutely won't just solve your gut problems, but it will help to strengthen up your gut lining. And then there's other things that you can do to help solve your gut problems, like gut health and all that sort of stuff. But L-glutamine, bone broth, collagen is really, really good. But the main thing really for leaky gut is stress. So we really want to look at getting ourselves out of fight and flight, which is your sympathetic nervous system, and being in your parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest. And that is by looking at stuff like mindfulness, looking at breathing exercises, yoga, walks, getting out in daylight. That is one of the main things that is really going to strengthen up that gut lining, is really focusing on your stress level. And it's unfortunately the hardest, because there is no pill that does that. That was the door. Wait for my next client to come through. So that's the one thing I really reiterate, that's not right, to all of my clients, is stress management, balancing out the chattering brain, balancing the chaos that can be the modern lifestyle, and remembering that it's not about cutting everything out. It's not about stopping. I can't be stressed, I've got to say no to everything. It's about counterbalancing the busyness. So drive without the radio on. Breathe. Be committed to a weekly bath. Be committed to getting out for a half an hour walk every day. It's just going to make you be able to manage some of those other stressful situations a bit better and keep your body in rest and digest. Here's an example. So we should be, our nervous system, so sympathetic nervous system, stress, parasympathetic nervous system is your rest and digest. Now what we should be happening is it kind of goes like this. So we spike up to our sympathetic, back down to our parasympathetic, back up, because we need our sympathetic nervous system. We need stress. We need to be able to react to a situation quickly. If I'm running late, be able to solve that or respond to that. Step back if the bus is coming. But what happens is that we wake up, we look at our phones, we spike our stress state. Not everyone, but this is kind of a real, what's happening with lots of people. It's that you wake up, you look at your phones, and boom, stress state happens, work emails, family, whatever it is that's going on, and we stay like this because of constant things, because of our chattering brain that constantly is never switching off, never just giving us a little bit of breathing space. We are never dipping down to our parasympathetic nervous system, and that is where the issue comes, is that yes, we need to be up here sometimes, but you really need to be going down and having rest and digest. So important, so important. Do you know what? That has made me feel better, having a quick chat and feeling like I know what I'm talking about. So if you've listened, thank you. And I hope that does help. If you are, suffering a little bit of any digestive issues, leaky gut is something to definitely consider, but also just remember that it's stress that can really affect it. I'm gonna do my one last client, and then I'm going home to pick up my boy, or going to my mum's to pick up my boy, who's a little bit ill at the moment, so I cannot wait to just go and give him a big old cuddle. Love you, Olivia.